My house guest. Sarah, had a guest. I'm so glad David Goggins is on our team.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sarah, you here? Is Sarah?
She's over there.
Come on over here, sweetie. In a minute. Before we take questions and I give my thank yous, I think Sarah wanted to say a couple of words.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming. I just wanted to take 1 minute to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting my husband. And I am super duper excited that I can now tonight say I am married to an author. Very sexy. And it has been a wild adventure being married to Jesse. There's never a dull moment, and it was such an honor to have an American hero move in with us. He asked me when I was in the middle of 3 things, like so many women, and I think it was something like, honey, can a Navy SEAL move in with us for 30 days and get me in good shape? And I was like doing 5 things. I go, sure, honey. And then about 3 days later, the man was at my breakfast table. So I was like, hi, I'm Sarah. So it was awesome. Laser thought that a Power Ranger was living with us. And all of his friends wanted to come over and play all the time. Laser has a real Power Ranger living with him. And I learned a lot from Goggins, and it was just a fascinating time. So I appreciated that he was willing to step out of his comfort zone and move into our world. And it was fascinating, as you'll read in the book, just to sort of see 2 completely different worlds merging. And my husband was responsible for bringing that together, but it took David being open to it and Jesse wanting to always expand himself as a human being to make that happen. And thanks for being here. Thanks for all the support, and have a great night.
We'll take a couple of questions. Before we do that, I just want to give a couple of thank yous before I forget. First of all, my parents are here. Came in from Florida. I really appreciate having them. Every great moment in my life, my mom and dad have been to. They haven't missed one single thing. And here, par for the course that they came in and that they're here. Also, Lisa Leschke, my agent, is here, who put me on this journey and convinced me to do that. I appreciate that. And my really close friend, Turney Duff, who was kind of like my writing coach and spoke to me for hours and hours and guided me and held my hand. He's an author. Turney's over here. He also has a great story. He wrote a book called The Byside that was a bestseller, and rightfully so. And I strongly suggest, if anyone here wants to have a great read, Turney Duff's Byside is unbelievable. Janelle, thank you for your crew for following me the last couple of days, and Mark Brown for our 49-day challenge, man. Got me back to where I need to be. Jennifer Kish, over there in the middle, single-handedly has held my hand and helped David and I in so many ways and is responsible for so much. She's like a one-man SWAT team, so I appreciate you, Kish, you know how I feel about you. Of course, you know, this guy completely changed my perspective on so many things. And, you know, when he accepted moving into our house, it was, I didn't realize how much the impact would be. He had a saying, if it doesn't suck, we don't do it. And it sucked, but it was great. And I'm just so grateful for David. You know, we had a handshake. He never asked me for, it was like unbelievable. Never asked me for money, never, like it was nothing about that. And when this book came to be, and we got, you know, hopefully we'll sell a ton of books, I said to David, no matter what, you know, I want to split everything with you, and I hope we sell a ton of books and he makes a ton of money. And so I'm really grateful for David, and as an American, but also as a friend, so thank you. And Sarah, you know, probably the smartest, definitely the smartest thing I ever did in my life. I married the right woman. Clearly she gets me, because she said, okay, sweetie, let me do this. But, you know, to put up with this, because it took a lot of time and commitment. So I'm going to open up the floor to some questions to David and me if you want. And then I hope everybody, you know, I want to give books away to everybody because it's my nature. Like, I love giving. So I just really want to give everything, but like Lisa's here. So So, you know, can't do that. So there are books, and that would be great if you guys like it, you know, spread the word, share it with a friend. The holidays are coming up. You know, we released the book on Tuesday, and then I'll shut up, but we released the book on Tuesday. There's 13 million books or something like that on Amazon. We were like 135 or something yesterday. And number one is fitness, and it's not a fitness book, but not releases. So that was interesting. So,
Wow.
yeah. And then the audio, you know, there's an audio book, which is the whole, I do it, I didn't want to do it. But anyway, it was great. So I'll open up for any questions you guys might have for David Goggins or me, if anybody has any questions. Someone's got to have a question. Yes, sir.
David, are you still in touch with KG? Can you tell us any more of that story of when you met him?
Well, all right, he said, am I still in touch with KG? You know, that was an amazing time I had with him, but he's much like me. I'm not calling his ass first, he's not calling my ass first. So no, I haven't. He's a great guy, man.
He's referring to a chapter in the book where David shadowed me. He went everywhere I went for 31 days. Every meal, every meeting, every trip, everything. And I had a meeting with Kevin Garnett. In fact, Derek from Coca-Cola is here. We had a company called Zico, coconut water. We were trying to lure Garnett away from Gatorade to our brand to be an endorser. And we had a meeting, so Goggins came with me, and immediately, I never met Garnett. In the meeting, I introduced them. I said, hey, you know, Kev, sorry, I have Navy SEAL living with me. I'm sure you've had Navy SEALs in meetings, sit in meetings before. And they immediately started talking, and for 2 hours, they were like, it was like they were just talking, and I'm sitting there, and at the end of the meeting, they hugged it out. They're like, all right, Garnett's like, I gotta go. I'm like, well, what about Zico? And he turned to me, he's like, Garnett's like, whatever you motherfuckers are doing, I'm in. Pulled up the guys at Zico, I'm like, we got him. Thank you. And another question.
I got one.
Yes, Zico.
Okay, so I read the whole book, and it's hilarious. So I want to know, are you afraid of Sarah? Because after you went into the lake, I was there with you. So were you afraid of her, or were you like, yeah, this girl, she means nothing?
I would not confirm or deny. Next question.
Again, in one of the chapters, David took a boulder. We live in Connecticut. In the winter, we went up for a week to our house in Connecticut. We live on a lake. It was frozen. So he got the idea to take a boulder and crack a hole in the lake where people were playing ice hockey on. Everyone was like, what is this guy doing? First of all, he celebrated like he won the Super Bowl when he got to the water, and then he jumped in. And then he made me jump in, and then we went up, and Sarah saw it from a window, and then she went berserk. We went berserk. We were like, oh, what are you doing? She asked God, and she's like, by the way, what's the medical benefit of jumping in a frozen lake? And Goggins turned to her, he said, there is none. That's what your husband signed up for.
Will not confirm or deny.
Yes, Whit.
So when you signed Goggins on, was your number one goal fitness?
I wanted to get in great shape, but that was probably 25% of it. You know, I was at the time, I was in a great routine. I would get up, run, eat my fruit, go to work, have my family, come home, have dinner, repeat. I was in a great routine, and routines are great, but as Turney knows, routines are also a rut. And I wasn't getting better. I was just doing the same thing, same loop in Central Park, same push-ups. I wasn't seeing any improvements, and I just wanted to get better in all the buckets of my life. So that was 75% of it. I got in insane shape. By the way, this was 5 years ago when the blog came out, and it took, you know, I had a lot going on in my life over my last couple of years, but the result is this book. Ms. Kane.
I would like to know how you felt in the section when he asked you, I can't say it verbatim, but he asked you about, you asked him about primary, why would
So the question, in one of the chapters is called primary. we used to leave the doors unlocked because why would you possibly lock the door when he's living in your house? I mean, it was like almost like you almost wanted someone to come in. Like, please, come rob us. In your mind. So I asked Goggins one day, I'm like, what would ever happen if someone came into the house? And he said, well, automatically, he's like, I got to protect my primaries. I'm like, well, what does that mean? He's like, well, Sarah and Laser are my 2 primaries. And then he turned to me and goes, and unfortunately, you're my 3rd option.
I really said, you're fucked.
No, basically, how did that make you feel?
Well, I was glad that my son and wife were protected. Attorney D, Cleveland D.
As everyone reads the book, they're gonna learn sort of how you changed and what you got from SEAL living with you. I'm curious of what David learned from Jesse in those 30 days.
Great question.
All right, I'm 40 years old, and I'm 100% retired. Did I answer your question? Retired. I don't have to do anything. No more working, no nothing.
He did that on his own.
I just like, just some business stuff. Where to put some money, where to do some things, where to, I didn't take any money from Jesse, but I definitely took some good advice from him and Sarah. So